So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about random selection in Excel. So this video in particular is going to be helpful for your islands project. So if you're working on your sampling scheme, for example, and you're trying to include some kind of random selection component to make sure that you have a strong sampling scheme, you might want to use Excel to help you with randomly choosing among participants in the population, or potential participants in the population. So one function that's probably helpful here would be randbetween. So if I type in equals and then I type in randbetween like this, and then an open parentheses, you'll notice that there's two components. I need a bottom value and a top value. And what randbetween does is it randomly chooses an integer value within the range that you specify. So for example, if I choose 1 comma 100 like this, then randbetween is going to randomly choose an integer within that value or within that range. And it does include the low and the high value as well. So it could be 1, it could be 100. And I could have it continue producing a random value by just clicking back in the formula box and clicking enter, and it will just run that again, and I can keep doing that as many times as I need. I could also just do it in mass by just dragging the formula across however many rows I need. So maybe I need to do 15 of these. Well, I could just do 15 all at once, and there I go. And so what I could do, every time that I do anything on my spreadsheet, or any time that I click in the formula box and do enter, it's going to keep reshuffling these numbers. So maybe I'd like to just have them set now that they've produced. So what I can do is just highlight the selection. I can do Control C or Command C to copy it, and then I can right click and do a special paste option. I can paste them as values, and so what that will do is it will, instead of pasting the formula again, it's just going to paste the values that are showing, and it should keep those the way they are. So it might reshuffle in the process of pasting them, just a heads up, but once you've pasted them, they won't keep readjusting even as you're doing things on your spreadsheet. You'll notice that the formula has disappeared. So this might be helpful if you have maybe, I don't really want to tell you how to do your sampling, but if you have kind of a selection of numbered things in the islands and you're trying to choose one of them at random, this would be a really great way to do that. There's another function called rand, which could be helpful. So for example, rand, I actually don't enter anything. I just enter rand and then parentheses, and it produces a randomly chosen value between 0 and 1, and it will actually go to as many decimal places as I choose for it to go. So that can be helpful in some cases. You could also use rand or even randbetween if you want to do random selections, if you're random assignments. If you're trying to think about sorting people to either a treatment group or a control group, maybe using randbetween set to like 1 to 2 or something. That could help you if you think about it. But as you're working on your islands project, I would just kind of emphasize that there isn't one way or one right way to do your sampling or even your random assignment if that's what you're doing at some point. There's really quite a few different ways. I always come across new ways that students find to do their sampling, and all of them are very interesting, and a lot of them are very appropriate to do. So don't stress out about finding the right way to do it. Just find a way that makes sense, that has a strong sampling scheme.